awesome viewers, welcome to AC Studio. I just have received the latest JOYTOY Warhammer, the Horus Heresy action figures. I'm quite sure most of you already know that they have first released the Imperial Feast figures, and they are the Tactical Sculpt, the Despoiler Sculpt, and the Breacher Sculpt. And in this video, I'm gonna review the Despoiler Sculpt first because the Tactical Sculpt, I still got two more figures to come and they haven't arrived yet. So I'm gonna review these two first. And in the next video, I'm gonna look at the Breacher Sculpt. So please stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, because I'm gonna have a lot of stuff coming up very soon, including the Land Splitter, which is shown in my last video. So if you haven't watched my last video, please have a look if you want to see the Land Splitter here, right? So this is the first time I ever have a Horus Heresy figure and never have any Horus Heresy tabletop, figures. So the action figures will be my very first collection of the Horus Heresy series. Right, let's have a look at the box first, then let's open it. So I got these two figures. One has the chain sword, the other one has the plasma pistol. So you can see the packaging, the coloring of the box is different to the 40k series, but otherwise everything pretty much the same, just different colors. So the different colors represent two different series, which is pretty good, which is quite clear. In the back you can see the pictures of the accessories, which seems to me there are quite a lot of accessories for a figure like this, so pretty good. Let's open it then. At the accessories first before we look at the figures. As you can see, the hands, the exchangeable hands, are exactly the same for the two figures, so there's not much differences here. So they're one set of hands like that, and then you got one set of hands, these two that hold the sword of the chain sword, and then you have another set of hands for holding the pistols or the guns. So there are three sets of hands on two figures. They both have a chain sword, and they both have exactly the same gun in a gun sleeve. That is a pistol on a gun sleeve, and also this one. So you put one on one side, and then put the other one on the other side. So it comes with a ball joint, so you can put on the belt. And both figures also got a pistol here like that. Look exactly the same. No differences, except same pistol. But the major difference between the sergeant and a typical marine is it comes with a plasma pistol. Nothing really special. The plasma pistol is just very small. Yeah, the sergeant just got extra pistol. So otherwise, in terms of details, you can see the sword has very nice details on the teeth. It actually goes around to the other side. Looks very nice. And then you got and it is in black color, which also highlight the raised edges with the light gray color. A little bit kind of like dry brushing on it, but it's not obvious, not as obvious as the 40k Space Marine. And also we got this silver color with the black wash, and then you see there are the brown color on the handle, and some of the brown painted over the black. But that's alright, it's not too obvious. And then we look at the pistol as well. Actually quite nice. I actually quite like the pistol, but they did not paint anything else on the raised edges, so there's no highlighting, just black, silver. And it seems like the silver got a tiny bit of black wash, not much. But these holes, if they're not see-through, then they should paint it black, so they did not do that, but that's okay, that's a minor issue. The plasma pistol looks pretty nice. The painting of these light strips, not as good as the first generation of the JOYTOY figures. They did not give you the color variation on it. They only paint the raised edges a light kind of like blue on it. So if you look far away, that looks really plain. And you can see the black paint isn't fully covered the handle, so there's a bit of leftover silver on it. And then the gun sleeve looks pretty nice, but again, this is just a plain brown color and no highlighting on the the leather. On the 40k Space Marines, you can see the leather. They always paint the leather with a lighter color, highlighting or black wash on it. So they did not really do that. So you see, this is just a plain color, black, silver, brown. Nothing more than that, right? No wash, nothing on it. But if you compare the pistol and the pistol in the sleeve, right, you can see size differences. This is smaller than that. So, but again, this is typical issue. Sometimes they do need to cheat a little bit, you know, otherwise it will be too much trouble for them to do the molding. And then on both figures, they also come with smaller pistol in a sleeve, but we only provide with this, and the sergeant, you know, with an extra plasma pistol. So where's that come from? Where's the pistol for this? Anyway, I hope they can also give us a pistol for this. That would be good, you know. And also on the body, they already have two, you know, accessories on each figure. So one is pistol sleeve without the gun. So if you're holding a gun, then you have one which is, you know, the one like this without a gun inside. And then I also have the cartridge. I think it actually comes from this one as well. Alright, so the details looks really nice as well on these two, except inside they should paint black because there's nothing in there. So now we finished all the accessories. Now let's have a look at the figures. So this is the first time I have the Horus Heresy figure in my hand. So my first impression is I'm quite impressed with the sculpting of the figure. I think the sculpting looks really good. As you know, JOYTOY always good at sculpting. You can see all the details on the legs, and you can see all this rivet on the backpack, the legs. So it looks really good. And also what impressed me is this piece is soft plastic. As different from my previous experience with, for example, the Chaos figures, you can see the pieces at the tummy are not really able to do the ab crunch or anything like that. And pieces like this are also solid, so it actually blocks the legs from, you know, kicking up and things like that. This is just a very skinny kind of like, you know, soft plastic piece, but look at it. Look how thin it is, right? And it is really good. So I can actually do anything I want without restricting the articulation. But I don't know why, maybe because of the color, because of the yellow color, the plastic feel cheap. So it doesn't feel the same as, you know, the Space Marine figure. The plastic doesn't feel cheap at all. But then I also look at the 40k, you know, Space Marine, Imperial Fist as well. I'm not too sure, maybe because they, you know, because it's in yellow, it is more shiny. You see, actually more shiny than the blue. It just feels different. And this too, to me, the plastic feels pretty much the same. But I'm not too sure if they have used a different plastic because they have to do a yellow color. So, you know, as you know, yellow is one of the hardest colors to deal with in, you know, action figures or toy production. So I think they may have used different plastic compared to that. But anyway, if you know, please let me know. Back to the sculpting, I think it looks really good and the details are great. I really like this helmet, the head, design. It is Heresy, so, you know, they are much older Space Marine armor. But they also have variations on the design, you see? You got a very nice detail here. The only issue here, you can see the metallic color is not as nice as, you know, some of these Space Marine figures here, right? It's actually quite precise, but you can see here, they got paints, you know, over the edges, right? So it's not that precise, and the metallic color is not as good as well. And then we have the other figure as well here. The silver looks good, you got a bit of black wash on it. And also on the yellow armor, you can see they put the darker brown weathering, or the shadowing on it, which looks good. So they have weathering here, weathering on the edges, on the middle part. You can see on the, you know, shoulder pad, yeah, and on the shoulder pad there as well. So they have it pretty much everywhere, you know. They have it there, you know, there as well. Same as that one. Looks really good. And have a look at the back as well. You see they have the weathering on the, you know, backpack, and also on these edges here. And then on the shoulder pad, for example, you've got this like black edges as well. You have the black edges all around the body. I actually not a big fan of the black edges highlighted with the white. I think that looks really rough to me, right? It doesn't look that good. So this is actually quite similar to what they have done on the first generation of the Space Marine figure. The very first one, you can see what they highlight all these edges on it. It looks good in miniature, but it doesn't look that good in the action figure. And I think JOYTOY trying the best to do it so that they can highlight the figure, because if you have black edges, right, you don't see that clearly. You don't see the contrast, and so that is why I think they put the highlighting on it. But instead of white, why don't they put the silver color on it? I think silver looks even better. So I think silver match better for the black. Black and white are always the contrasting colors, so you're having that looks alright, but I think it doesn't really go well on the black. So I suggest more or less silverish. So that's why I think silver, or even metallic color, a gunmetal metallic color, similar to what they do with the guns, you know, this kind of color on black. I think it looks really good. And also I think because of yellow, you can see there's a lot of black, you know, dots, which is probably comes from this black color here. There as well. To me, that is not a big deal, because, you know, you can just treat it as dirt or battle damages. And also I think they did not put enough, wash around each rivet. Otherwise, I think the figure looks even better. Just like what they've done here on the box art, right? Of course, we argue that this is just a box art, so they will never follow exactly what they got, which is true. You see they put a black wash on all the rivets. So I think it definitely looks better if I put the black wash on all the rivets. I'm going to show you in the next video perhaps, Yeah, and I definitely think after done that, it looks much closer to the box art, right? And this is the backpack. Yeah, I really love the details of the backpack. The details definitely look different compared to the 40K figure that I have here. And I really love this. This looks old, which I really like. I think the details are really amazing. Apparently this one, you can actually, rotate the exhaust, but it doesn't do much anyway. Yeah, otherwise, the detail looks really good. They have the grey highlighting on the black. And also on the pipe details as well. I think the pipe details looks really good. It is soft plastic, but it feels like hard plastic. It's actually very sturdy. It doesn't come out easily. And I think the back details of the legs are really cool. You've got these like strips of armors, overlapping each other. Rivets looks really good, but again, more black wash is better. So JOYTOY didn't bother to do that, but they should. Otherwise, your figure will look much better. At the moment, if you look far away, it looks very plain, right? Even though, yeah, you did put the highlighting on the edges, on the black edges, but yeah, it's just not good enough. So they should do that, but of course, that is a lot of labor. So imagine you have to hand wash every single rivet. It just takes too long. There's no way they can do it. In terms of articulation, the first thing I look at is the shoulder joint. As you know, I always, not happy with the JOYTOY shoulder joint design since they have updated in the, second version of the Space Marine figure. They have this plastic strip on the shoulder pad, which I'm not too happy with because, it's actually quite loose. You can see this figure is also very loose as well. But one thing that I really like though is I realized the shoulder joint, you can actually swing out quite a lot. The 40K Space Marine cannot do that, but look at this figure. You see, this is amazing. You can actually turn out so much that you can do really good pose out of this. So you can have the figure looking like this and shooting out like that. So I think that is really good. So I'm happy with the shoulder movement. I think you can see the shoulder movement like this. You can actually move out a lot. But this thing is kind of like move around, which annoys me a bit. Same as the Space Marine figure, you got the swivel bicep, the double elbow joint as well, which you can turn 90 degrees, not bad. And then of course there's a ball joint, and they got a mid-torso ball joint, so you can move in multi-directional movement, but the only thing that stops it from moving is when the backpack is crashing with the accessory here. So when I try to move, you see it actually restrict it, so you actually got stuck on it, but which is alright. Not an issue, you just pull it off, you don't like it. The heel swing is not bad, you can kick up, but if you turn it, you can rotate, you can see you can kick up 90 degrees, pretty good, isn't it? And then you got the double knee joint, which moves that much, more than 90 degrees. The ankle joint movement is pretty good. You can move up and down, twist sideways as well. And lastly, toe joint, 45 degrees. So generally, the articulation is pretty good. It is similar to a 40K Space Marine figure. Or otherwise, the articulation for the shoulder joint is even better, you see. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy with them. And these two Despoiler Sculpt figures are really great figures. You're really able to capture all the details in the Warhammer miniature. The articulation is equally as good as a typical 40K Space Marine figures, and I think the shoulder joint's even better. But the problem, as I mentioned, is the shoulders are a little bit loose because it is based on the version 2 Space Marine design. I think the painting needs a bit of work because in terms of weathering, there is a big difference between the box art and the finished product. If you put a wash on each of the rivets and also the race details, I definitely think this figure looks really good. So I think I'll give this figure kind of like 8 out of 10. Because I think the finish is a little bit lacking. Also, I personally not too keen with the white highlight on the armor details or the race edges. Really look good on the black. So I think that needs a bit of work. It's better if you put a silverish color on it. So give it a bit more kind of like armor, metal armor feel to it. Anyway, this comes to the end of this video. I'm gonna have the Horus Heresy technical Sculpt and the Breacher Sculpt coming. Also, I got other figures coming in very soon, so please stay tuned to this channel and please subscribe if you haven't. If you like this video, please give me a bit of support. I need your help because my viewership is very low. Please like the video and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.